Hello and welcome back to the channel. We've got a bit of a disaster on the fleet. One of them's failed the MOT, so it's I've just finished work and we need this car up and running as quick as, and yeah, so I've just finished work and I need to get some work done. Great. No, it's not that one. Oh, that one. It's that one. The Korean thing. Yeah, it's failed the MOT on brakes, basically all round. Although I've had a look at the brakes and they don't look too bad. Other than the discs on the back have been picked up as an advisory because they're all pitted and corroded a bit. And on the front, we've got one of the pads, the brakes binding on this side. So I've looked at the pads and the pads look all right, but I've bought a full set, so I've got discs and pads, and yeah, we're going to get this one sorted out as quick as, because I don't drive it, but it's a much needed car at the moment. And to be fair to it, I can't remember how long we've had this thing, but it's near on 160,000 miles and it's not really giving us any trouble. It's just one of them cars, you get in it, it starts, it goes, and sometimes it stops, but not at the moment. So with the wheel off, I can actually see the discs are actually not too bad, but I'm replacing them anyway because I believe this side has got pretty hot because it's been binding on. So really what I need to do anyway is push the pads back. I mean, I'm not too fussed about damaging the discs at the moment because, well, I'm replacing them anyway. But already I can see that caliper is not moving back at all, so I would guess the sliders have seized up, or maybe the piston might be a little bit seized, but my guess is the sliders. But yeah, let's strip it down and let's find out what the crack is. Okay, this annoys me. Right, as you can see, that piston there has gone all the way back in, and that went in quite easily, and also you can see that the sliders are okay. That one a little bit stiff, but no, that's fine. That's sliding. I will pull these out and put a little bit of copper slip on them anyway and clean them up, put some copper slip on, but them are free. So as for why there's an imbalance on the brakes, would initially point to either the caliper or the sliders. However, in this case, the brake pads are really stiff in the carrier. In fact, very stiff. Wow. Very, very, very tight in there. So, right, okay. So, pattern parts maybe. I'll certainly get the grinder out on that, I think. Should maybe check the new ones, but yeah. A bit of crud in there, and that's all it's took for it to fail the MOT. I mean, I didn't take the car for MOT, so I don't know how fussy they were being. If I would have seen it, I probably would have contested it, if I'm honest. But you know, I'm not allowed to argue. It's failed the MOT. Let's get it done, and let's get it done properly. So. But anyway, new discs, new brake pads, clean these up, got to be done. So that's a new pad in the carrier there, and as you can see, that literally slides in nice and easy. If I line it up properly, there we go. That slides in nice and easy. But anyway, I will put a little bit of lube on there. This is one of the original pads. that's going absolutely nowhere. That is way too tight, so that was what was causing the binding issue. So whether it's a Drive Tech, they're the same pad. Yep, they're the same pad, so I don't understand why, unless they're just cheap, crappy ones and they've improved over time because they're a bit rubbish. I don't know. So anyway, that's the problem. So, yeah, they probably needed changing anyway. And I can see some discolouring on this disc as well. So, yeah, let's not mess around. Let's bang some new discs on. New pads in there, quick clean up, and we're done. And then I've got to do the other three. Great. So that's the new disc on, carrier back on, the sliders nicely lubricated, and the anti-rattle shims nicely cleaned up. So I've just put a tiny dab of copper slip there where it needs to meet. It's sorry, yeah, so that's one pad on, and then the other pad goes in there, yeah, just like so. Where are we? There we go, one in there. There we go, nicely on, and as you can see, they're nice and free. Right, these of course on the back are anti-rattle shims, so I don't need to put any copper slip on there like we used to do in the olden days when they were just a pad. That's what them are designed to do, as a cushion, so I'm not going to contaminate them anymore. So it's just a case now of put this caliper back on, put the wheel back on, go around the other side and start on that one. So nice easy job, so far so good, he said. And there we go, that's one side on the front done. Let's go around the other side, pull the wheel off and do the same again. So on the passenger side front, the pads slid out very easily, piston went back nice and easily. However, the bottom slider was okay, but the top one was probably about to seize. That was rather stiff to come out. It was moving, but it was very stiff. So my guess is that would have seized up within another couple of months, I would have thought. So the disc wasn't too bad on this side, but if I can show you the two discs, so there is some heat discoloration there, but a lot more on that one, and it is rather pitted. So although, if you know, there's plenty of meat on them, there's not much of a lip. But once they've already got hot, you know, these aren't sports car brakes, so they're not designed to get too hot. I mean, they are going to get hot, but once the heat has already got into them, sometimes they can fade quite a lot. So again, I would probably guess on that's where the imbalance comes in as well, especially on that driver's side, with the pads being rather stiff in the caliper there. So that's the passenger side done. I mean, there was no need for me to video it all again. Yeah, quite easy, nothing drastic going on, everything all go really well. So on to the rears. Now the rears, they've only put it up as an advisory. If you don't know if you can see through there, come on, focus. The lower edge and the top, the outer edge and the inner edge of the discs are quite badly pitted and rusty. Obviously there's not much braking force on the back, but saying that, if we're going to do brakes, we might as well do the lot. I'm not sure if you can see on this side as well, if it'll get in there, but yeah, very scored, very lots of lines in them. he may have just been a little bit fussy on the MOT. Once they pick up on something, they do tend to go a little bit overboard then. But it's not a car, you know, it's not the most desirable car, don't get me wrong. But it is a good car. I don't care what anybody says about these little Kia Ceeds. If you want a good, reliable, do-all car, these are just absolutely brilliant. They really are. I mean, you know, it's not fancy to look at, although it is very wedgy. I'll give it, it's probably be more wedgy than a wedge. But it's very busy inside, there's a lot in it. It's got cruise control, adjustable steering, air conditioning, big massive rear camera and screen and all that. Folding mirrors. It's, you know, what's not to like? Connect your phone to it through Bluetooth, and you've got charging points down there as well. Yeah, I've said it before about these. I think they're, you know, they're not the most desirable, but they are a real good car. And as you know, Ricky's got 2 of them on his drive as well, so yeah, doesn't need a posh badge, but it does need one of those badges, especially that. Brr. So we're on to the back. These are your standard rear calipers, incorporating the handbrake. So these pistons have to be wound back, and believe it or not, I don't actually have the tool, but you can basically wind them back. It depends on whether they've got the crosshead in the piston. If they have, then basically it's just a pair of grips and the tool that you undo a grinding wheel with the 2 prongs on it. That's how I've done them before, and it seems to work quite well if the pistons move okay. There's nothing really wrong with the brakes on the back. It was just picked up on as an advisory that the discs were a bit scored and corroded, and to be fair, it's probably time they were changed before they actually fail. So yeah, nothing too bad about this one. Basically just undo the caliper and the carrier, the usual 2 screws, and then it just pulls off. Nice easy job. So this is what I meant, one of them, and basically it has got the little cross section there. I don't know if you can see that. The only problem is this one is a little bit too big, so it's a little bit of a struggle. So basically you put it on there, put it on and wind it in. But like I say, it was a little bit of a struggle because that is actually just that little bit too big, but you can get smaller ones. So basically just a pair of grips on the piston itself, being careful not to damage the rubber, and just gently turning it back in clockwise. Actually turned it straight in, and that's more or less as far home as it needs to be. So yeah. Oh, but Kia, in order to get the carrier off, one of the bolts is down here, so I need to remove this cross member, this stabilizer bar thing, which I wasn't expecting. Obviously I've never changed the rear discs on this, but looking at the state of the brake pad, yeah, okay, look at that. I don't know if you can see that cross section there. It doesn't quite pick it up, but you can see there where that's quite deep as well, that. So yeah, I'll be interested to pull the disc off and have a look and see what it's like. Can't quite see at the moment, but yeah, let me just get this carrier off and we'll have a look. Yes, okay, fair dues, Mr. MOT man. I'll let you off with this one. Yeah. And brakes are hardly working. Well, and anyway, carrier came off without taking that off because I have some cranked ring spanners, and luckily I was able to get in the underside. It was very slow to turn out, but luckily the threads are really nice and loose and clean. So once I'd got it cracked, a couple of turns off with the spanner, I was able to get in there with my little Jeremy Beetle hand and get my little baby fingers in there and wind it out. So yeah, being short and small sometimes does have its advantages. So right, yep, just a quick clean up then, new disc on, and we can go back together. All good. Before I put this, the sliders on this are absolutely brilliant. Yeah, they're all nice and free. Yep, don't need to worry too much about that. All good. Oh, that's all back together and bled, handbrake adjusted. Yeah, of course, naturally I did re-grease the sliders. While I've got it all undone, it seems silly not to. But yeah, she's good to go. That's this side done. I might as well go and do the other side then. And for the passenger side, hopefully it's pretty much rinse and repeat. With a bit of luck, all things come off nice and easily again, and all goes back together. So, let's crack on. So already I can tell we have got some nice free sliders, because I'm going to have to hold that because that slider there is actually turning. And I think the top one is the same. I've already loosened it off. Yep, that one's turning as well. Nice. So it's just a case of put a spanner on there, and wind the nut out. Nice easy job. And looking at that inner brake pad, I think we've got the same thing going on, so that's probably losing around about 20% of its braking efficiency. Yeah, feels about the same as the other one. Fair enough, but worth doing. As you can see there, that is the tight part. Luckily, with these crank ring spanners, they don't come out very often, but when they do, a bit of a lifesaver really. Saves me having to take all that bush off, that's for sure. But yeah, it is a bit slow. You can only do a quarter of a turn, if that. I think it's probably 1/2 round on the spanner, isn't it? But I can already feel that is rather nice and loose. Can't quite get in at the moment, but another couple of turns I will be able to get my little digits in there. Obviously I can't wind it too far out on the spanner because I won't get the spanner off then. It's already becoming a little difficult. I think if I can get in there like I did last time. Yeah, that's going. I think I'm going to have to put the camera down because I do need both hands for this. Bear with me. And that, just get my hand round, that's winding out nicely now. I am so glad I had that electro acupuncture on this thumb. A couple of weeks ago I wouldn't have been able to move that. I've had 2 treatments of electro acupuncture. Maybe we'll put the video on at the end of that. It's rather shocking. And that's the brake sorted on the cracking Kia. Yeah, not a bad job at all. Everything went really well. Obviously I did this over 2 days. As you can see there, the brakes have just started to bed in. I mean, the car only does about 10 miles a day, driven very gently anyway, so but maybe she needs to go a little bit harder on the brake pedal, maybe. And then obviously these rear ones will have to bed in as well, so we'll get her booked in for the retest hopefully in a couple of days time, and all will be well. Yeah, so that's that, all done, all dusted. So that was an unexpected video I wanted to make. It was just a case of they picked it up on the MOT and suggested the brakes needed attention. So brakes, so we got brake pads and discs all the way around. It's all sorted now, don't need to worry about that car for maybe another 12 months when it needs a service. It's one of them cars, you just get in, you go, and it doesn't really give us any trouble at all, given the fact that it's done nearly 160,000 miles now. And it's been on the fleet now for well over 7 years, so not a bad car at all, real good car. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and each other. Cheerio. Bye. Roll on two. Ow, you. Is that doing right? There. Hope they don't mind language in this video. Ow, you fucking ass.
Do you really think that I can send this video to Facebook?
Fucking hell.
Oh.
Shouldn't that be in? Ow, you fucker.